hey, stop, explain that a little bit more. I know I've been kind of through the process a couple of times. If I get going too fast, just slow me down. I am really excited about this opportunity for all the boys, 8th grade through seniors, to get a chance to play at Busch Stadium this summer. So we've got this packet that hopefully explains pretty much everything about the trip. I know there's going to be some things that come up as we move forward on, as we go through. Oh, sorry, that's okay. So this first just kind of explains a little bit about the trip. The last time that we did this trip was in 2005. And at that point, I pretty much took it on myself. And at the end of it, I said, never again are we going to undertake this trip to St. Louis. And Mary, who's here helping with this, she was pretty persistent about it. She's like, we've got to do it, especially now for these senior boys. And I was like, Mary, it takes a ton of work. I can't do it myself. So I'm going to need a group of parents to help. And I've had a lot of good parent help. Mary is kind of our cheerleader and getting us going and getting a bunch of people on board. And the saying goes, many hands make light work. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm just kind of reaping the benefits of this because they're doing so much of the legwork on it. So I wanted to thank all of them. I think Mary's the only one that's here tonight. She's going to help sign out tickets at the end of this as well. So we'll just kind of start here on page 1. It just explains about the opportunity that we have, but it is going to take some work to get it done on the part of the boys, and hopefully a little bit of help from parents as well. My email, cell phone's on there. If you have questions, you can contact me. Coach Eling's information is on there as well. All right, let's go ahead and go to page 2. So this just kind of explains about the game. It's July 6th. You probably are aware of that already. The Cardinals will be playing the Marlins. It's a 1:15 start. We will start approximately 45 minutes after their game gets completed. So we don't know for sure an exact time what that would be. A good estimate's probably between 4 and 4:30, somewhere around there, hopefully. Because of the state of Iowa requires all varsity games to be a 7-inning game, we have to count the first 7 innings as a varsity game. Now I want you to understand, as parents, my goal is not to go out there and win that as a varsity game. I'm looking at it, the first 5 innings is where we're going to play a lot of the varsity guys, but we'll start getting subs in sooner than that. So we'll probably have some of the JV subs in by the time we get to that 5th and 6th inning. So we get 2.5 hours or 9 innings, whichever one comes first. So we're going to get as many of the boys in, and my goal is every single player in our program gets at least an inning or an at-bat at Busch Stadium. There's not very many people in this world that can say they got to take an at-bat at a major league stadium or play an inning in the field. So that's what our goal is. Even in the worst case, they get to play catch on a major league stadium. They get to sit in the dugout in a major league stadium. And as long as everything goes well and then we don't fly through super fast, we'll also be able to get that at bat or an inning. So that's my goal as we go forward. And I'm going to do everything that I can to make that happen. Okay? In order to make this trip a success, we're going to need every single player on board trying to help sell tickets. Now, for some people, that's going to be easier than others, but we need everybody's best effort to make this happen. Okay? Next thing here is just kind of hotel information. The Hampton Inn is where we'll be staying. That'll be our team hotel. We have some rooms blocked. I know there were a few issues early on with trying to get those reservations. I believe all those kinks are worked out now, right?
Now we have 30, so, but please when you do reserve, make sure it's just for the players' parents. We don't have enough room for your uncles and your aunts and your cousins and everyone else. So, and you do get the special rate if you go beforehand or if you stay after, but you have to call down there and talk to them.
So in that situation, if you wanted to go down, like you drive down maybe Friday, so you're wanting to spend like Friday night, Saturday night there, So that's what Mary was talking about there. So if you were early or staying late, or if you wanted to stay after the game, we didn't. I know varsity has a game on Monday, so that might not work very well for the varsity players. Some of the other players, I don't think JV or freshmen have a game on that Monday. Okay. All right. The deadline for reserving is June 5th. Okay. Did anybody not get the email that had the links to go directly to? Okay, looks like maybe everybody got that. All right, on to the next page. Traveling to. Just to explain it, I guess backtracking a little bit. The front of the packet, the orange, is mostly just information that you'll want to hang on to. The back pages in white are things that eventually you'll pull out of the packet. Okay, and we'll get to that in a second. But I just wanted to explain kind of why the two different colors there. So traveling to St. Louis, option 1 is to ride the bus down with the team. The bus will load up 7:30 on Saturday morning, and we're going to go to Grant's Farm for just kind of stretch the legs out. But we're also doing that as kind of a team function with Wilton. So they're going to be there at the same time. We're going to let the boys kind of hang out, get to know each other. So we're taking this, it's not just a Fairfield Trojan thing. Now we're trying to build a little bit even bigger, I guess networking, even to go that far to say. Option number 2 is ride down with your parents. As some of you, and I know that I've talked to several people, they're going to make an extended weekend out of it. The JV game plays in Keokuk on July 3rd, and that's a 12 o'clock start. I think I saw an email. So if you wanted to, that would be an easy way. You're already partway down, just shoot the rest of the way down and have a really nice family weekend. Okay, my goal is to make this a big community effort. Okay, I want families to be able to enjoy some time away. A lot of times you don't get that in the middle of a season where you can get away as a family. So hopefully you can take advantage of that and get away, spend some time with family. Okay. Varsity players that are riding down with parents will need to report to Grant's Farm. Okay, so that is going to be a varsity team function. If you're down with your family, JV or freshman squad player, and you don't care about going to Grant's Farm, that's okay. Just hang out, do whatever. If you're staying in the team hotel, we're going to try to meet there at 4:30. So that way we can kind of get checked in, like if you were driving down that same day. Or if you stayed in a different hotel, then you were staying in the team hotel that night of the 5th. Okay? Questions so far? I know I'm kind of going fast. All right. The coming home part. Options, number 1 would be players riding home on the bus. We are planning on getting pizzas for the way home. That way we're not really stopping. I know we'll have to probably make at least one stop along the way. But that way we can get rolling out of St. Louis and try to make a fairly good time getting back. There will be an approximate $3 to $5 for pizza, depends on how much they want to share with a buddy. Okay. Option number 2, players could ride home with parents. Just make sure that you sign out. Player chooses to ride home with another family. We have to have that specific information on one of the back white sheets to get that okay. Okay. That white sheet that I'm talking about is page number 6. Okay, I'm going to make this so that I have this information in a binder so I know exactly where every player is going to be at all times during that trip. That way we don't load the bus up and like, oh gosh, where did Johnny go? Did he find out with his parents? Was he supposed to be with us? Now we're searching St. Louis for somebody. We don't want that to happen. Okay? All right. A little bit of the summary. The tickets to the St. Louis game cost $30. The face value on the tickets is $54. So we actually got a good rate. We're able to sell them for $30. So that's one of the things that you can go out and people are trying to sell to. Say, hey, this is a $54 ticket. You're getting it for $30. You get to see the Cardinals play and you get to see the Trojans play. Okay. The hotel is approximately $40 for each player. That's going 4 players per room and dividing it up. Varsity players will be required to stay in team rooms. The other players, if you prefer that they stay with you in the hotel as parents instead of staying with a team, that's okay too. We just have to know that information ahead of time so that we don't book too many rooms and now we're paying more than what we need to pay for rooms. Okay? Food, 40 plus, kind of depends on what they're going to purchase throughout the trip. Breakfast is included with the hotel. Players will need money for lunch on the way to St. Louis, and Saturday evening, Sunday lunch at the game, and then pizza on the return trip home. They might also need some snacks in there at some point. Okay. So you're thinking, gosh, this is kind of end up maybe a little bit of an expensive trip. So we've got some incentives built in. Okay, we're trying to make it so that everybody that wants to go can afford to go. Saturday evening, sorry, top of page 4, Saturday evening, we're doing an old spaghetti factory meal. I think Rhonda set it up. It's going to be closer to the 15 per player than the 20. So that's kind of how that's going. All right, breakdown of the cost. So if you add all those things together, it's a $110 trip. Okay? Less $30 if the player sells 10 tickets. So the 10 tickets sold, the player gets their ticket for free. Okay, so there's $30 off. Okay? Less $70 if the player sells 20 tickets. Okay, so that's the cost of the ticket and the hotel now paid for by us. Okay? Minus $90, player sells 25 tickets or more. That's the cost of the ticket, hotel, and then we're going to give them $20 bucks when they load the bus. They can use it however they want. Okay, they can use it for lunch money, snacks, souvenirs, whatever it is that they might be interested in. So it's really important to get them out there selling, because that's actually going to help make the trip a little bit cheaper, a little bit more cost effective. Okay? So players being asked, we really ask that all players get out and sell at least 10 tickets. Okay? Don't stop when you get to 10. Keep trying. Okay? Go as far as you can. Sell as many as you can. Because not everybody's going to have that same opportunity. Maybe they don't have as many family members living around here. Could be some situations like that. Okay? So again, the player selling 10 tickets is free ticket to the game. 15 is free tickets and a T-shirt. So that's one thing. It wasn't part of the other incentive package because the T-shirt isn't something that's required. 20 tickets gets the hotel room paid for plus everything above, and then again that 25 gets the $20 plus everything else. Okay. Checks, we do ask you try to get checks when you sell those tickets. That'll be just to Trojan Athletic Booster Club. Do note, children 3 and under don't require a ticket to get into Busch Stadium. Okay, so maybe you have a family with a little one, just that way they know they don't have to pay for a ticket. Okay? Mary or Jeff, anything I missed going through that? Mr. Courtwright's been involved in several of these meetings with us too, so he's kind of on the same page we are. Okay? All right, so the next page. Sorry.
I just gonna ask you, 3 and under?
3 and under.
They don't need a ticket. How are they gonna reward for us? I know you guys have your tickets approved as a whole. Are they gonna need it to sell?
I don't know how. I would assume they just would think the 3-year-old's probably sitting on somebody's lap.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or running around in the aisles or something. Yeah. Yeah. Just go for it. Okay. Page 5, procedures kind of for selling the tickets. We kind of went back and forth on how we were going to do this part of it. We were thinking about, well, if we give the players 10 tickets and they go out, now if they lose 10 tickets, that's $300 they have to come with. So, without having, this very back page, I'll kind of show you this. This page is to be used if you sell more than like 5 tickets at a time. So now you say, oh gosh, mom and dad went out, they've got all of our family coming, we want to buy like 25 tickets right now all together. So this has to be then filled out with who it's going to. Bring this in, and then we can give out more than the 5 tickets to parents if you want to come in, or the players to check in to the AD's office. 8th graders can see me just at the middle school. Okay? So otherwise, what will happen is they come in, we'll give them 5 tickets at a time. And that way, if they lose those 5 tickets, it's not, it's a pretty big amount. It's still $150, okay, but it's not a terrible, terrible amount. Here's the thing that you have to know, and the main reason why we wanted to have this meeting. If a player loses the tickets, they are responsible for those tickets. Okay? Now that sounds a little bit scary. So that's why maybe we want to have more parent involvement with the actual handling of the tickets and the money. Probably a good idea. We think a lot of our sons are pretty responsible, but they forget to lock their car one time running into the gas station and they had their ticket sitting up in the dashboard. Somebody's reached in and swiped it. So that's why we want to make sure that they understand that this is a major part of it, that they are responsible for those tickets. Okay, and I'll be on the boys a lot about that. They have to be responsible on this. Pam up in the AD's office is the go-to. We're also selling tickets out of the Park and Rec, so you have somebody else that they just feel more comfortable going and getting their tickets themselves. You can direct them to the Park and Rec. You could direct them here to the AD's office. They still need to check in with the regular office before they would go up. Okay, they can see the coaches as well, and we can try to arrange that. We do need to collect the money at the time we give them the tickets. So we hand them 5 tickets. They need to give us a check or the cash for those tickets before we actually get them. They don't have to give you the money until you get the tickets to them. So you've got somebody that wanted 8 tickets and you only had 5. Come back in, grab those 3 tickets, and then go back and then get the money at that time. If they want to give you the money early, that's okay too, because we're, record keeping on this is really good. Mark it off when they're paid. Okay. The rain out information. Hopefully we don't have to deal with this. The rain out would be at the discretion of the Cardinals, and mainly their grounds crew. The tickets for the Cardinals game would be refunded, or not refunded, but you would get the rain check for those. So you get rained out, whatever that date is, you would still get the ticket to the Cardinals. For us on the high school side of it, that's where it gets a little bit tricky. Our season will be wrapping up. After our season, after the last day of the state tournament, we as coaches can't have contact with our players other than pitchers and catchers. So at that point, we, as the high school coaching staff, would not be able to coach it. We haven't got a confirmed answer. We hadn't had a confirmed answer as to whether we could send like parents down as coaches and do it like an exhibition type of a thing. We're just going to hope that we don't have to cross that bridge. So we're going to pray for good weather when we go down there, nice and hot, like July's supposed to be in St. Louis. Okay. All right. The tentative schedule is there for you to kind of take a look at. I don't need to read through that for you. Then the last thing that just would be player information, traveling release form. Then page 7 is there's a map on the top, and then I kind of wrote up just like a little. The boys can read this if they're a little bit unsure, a little bit nervous about trying to sell tickets. Maybe if it's not family, sometimes they get a little bit nervous. So I kind of wrote up just a little skit, a little thing that they could read through and go about it that way. Our tickets are in the right field loge, which is, it's kind of hard to see on this printout. There's like 230, 228. That area up in there is the right field loge. So you can kind of see that. Might be easier if you just go to the St. Louis Cardinals website, then pull up the bigger map and you kind of see where they're at. Okay? All right. A lot of talk in a short amount of time. I know I can use at least one person. Any questions that I can help with? Huh? Myself, mostly myself, yeah. Exactly. Right. That actually brings another thing too. Park and Rec is putting together a bus trip down too. I know Derek's been working on that. I think he finalized that if you wanted to just hop the bus on Sunday morning, you don't have to worry about driving down. The bus would be $70 down and back. It did include, I think, a sack lunch. So they would put something together for you that way. But you still have to buy the $30 ticket. You can either buy it from a player or you can buy it from Park and Rec. Either way. So essentially to ride the bus down, it's a $100 trip. Which, depending on what gas prices are that weekend, may not be a bad deal. Okay?
And I got
Yeah.
one quick thing too. You may have a family that wants to purchase like 7 tickets. And they may have 4 tickets together and then 3 tickets might be in the next row or something like that. hoping that as we're a community and we're all friends, we all know each other, we're hoping just because you have a seat number, you're not set to that seat. We're hoping some people will be willing to switch around and move around so that your family and friends can be together. So hopefully, you know, if they're stuck on having a certain amount of seats together, you know, feel free to go in and get those seats, but hopefully when we get down there, everybody will be willing to switch around and move. So just let people aware of that too when you sell them.
Mr. Cora, anything else I forgot?
I would just emphasize, I was reading the fact a little bit when you first started, but did you talk about money and what we're going to use it for and all that?
No, I haven't talked about that part of it. There is a potential to raise a little bit of extra funds on this. You know, originally when we were thinking about this, we were thinking about the Straw Hacker Fund. It's now at the point where we've exceeded, the Booster Club's exceeded that money that we needed to raise. We're still going to be putting a good portion of that fundraiser, whatever extra goes into there. We did ask for 2 items before that money goes to the fundraiser. One of them is the big backstop, the big Bubba backstop that you can roll off the field for batting practice. The other one that Mr. Ealing really pushed was the water hog. The water hog is a system that you go push it through the water puddles, sucks up all the water, then you dump it off the field. So it makes it so that we don't have to use sponges like we used to do. We used it actually one time last year. We got to borrow it from Beacon, and it is actually really nice. I wish I'd had it for about the last 10 years instead of all the sponging that I had to do. So, playing at that bottom in the pit, we get a lot of water.
So the total cost of the tickets is $18,000, but if we sell, we've been given 900 tickets, and if we sell them all, then we have the potential probably, after paying for hotels and all that stuff, of having a nice profit of $7,000 to $8,000 we're hoping. And that big backstop that's getting bad that they roll in for batting practice, you're talking about $4,000 or $5,000 for one of those. The water hog's about $1,000. We've also been talking about maybe trying to run some wireless capabilities out to the baseball, softball, tennis courts area. That's about $3,000 to $4,000. So those are things that we might be able to have happen out at that facility if we, can sell our 900 tickets. Definitely hope we can get there. The feedback we got from Washington was the first 600 went like this, and then started to slow down. You really had to work at selling the rest. So.
I think our community is better than Washington. I think we're okay. All right. So at this time, if any of you wanted to sign out some tickets, I think Mary's going to kind of take charge of that. Maybe over by the table there. If you'd rather let your boys go in to sign those out too, that's okay. I think you've probably seen some of the players out around town trying to get some tickets sold, and it might not hurt to get those in hand and get started with it. So, again, I do thank you for coming in. I know it's Thursday night. It's like, well, it's been kind of a long week. It'd be nice to just roll into Friday. But again, this is a really important and a great opportunity for all of our players. So thanks for coming in. And